You check your bank account before you fall asleep. $1,142. Rent is due in 6 days. Your paycheck lands in 4. You do the math in your head, the same math you've done 100 times before, and somehow it always lands in the same place. Close. Too close. You are 29 years old. You have a job. You have a degree. You have done everything you were told to do. And yet the gap between what you earn and what you keep never seems to move. This is not a story about bad luck. This is a story about a system most people never learn to see until it's too late to matter. You get a raise. $52,000 becomes $58,000. For a moment, it feels like winning. Then rent goes up $140. Groceries cost 9% more than last year. Your car needs $1,800 in repairs you didn't plan for. By the time the year ends, you have saved less than you did before the raise. This is the quiet trap almost no one names out loud. Lifestyle absorption. Every dollar of new income finds a new place to disappear before it ever becomes wealth. You were taught to chase a bigger number on a paycheck. No one taught you that income and wealth are not the same thing. Income is what flows through your hands. Wealth is what stays. Somewhere back there, someone told you the formula. Study hard, get a good job, work 30 years, retire comfortably. It sounded complete. It sounded safe. But no one told you that a 401k matched at 3% on a $60,000 salary is $1,800 a year, and that inflation alone can erode a third of its future value before you ever touch it. No one told you that the average millionaire in America built their wealth not from salary, but from ownership, of businesses, of real estate, of appreciating assets held for decades, not months. You were given a map to survive. You were never given a map to build, and the two are not the same journey. Here is what almost nobody tells you at 25. If you invest $400 a month starting today, at an average 8% market return, in 30 years that becomes roughly $600,000. Wait 10 years to start, invest the same $400, and it becomes closer to $260,000. The difference between those two futures isn't the amount, it's the decade you hesitated. This is the quiet violence of time. It does not punish you loudly, it punishes you silently in the space between "I'll start later" and "later never came." Compound interest does not care about your excuses. It only cares whether you began. Most people never become millionaires, not because they don't earn enough, but because they never let time work on their behalf. They treat investing like a reward for having extra money, instead of the reason they'll ever have extra money at all. At the same time, on the other side of the ledger, something else is growing. The average American carries around $6,500 in credit card debt at an interest rate near 24%. Paying only the minimum on that balance, it can take over 17 years to pay off and cost more than double the original amount in interest alone. This is the second engine running in the background of most financial lives. While one number grows for you in the market, another grows against you in the statement. You are not just failing to build wealth. You are actively financing someone else's. Every late-night impulse purchase, every "I'll pay it off next month," is a small transfer of your future self's freedom to a bank that will never think about you at all. This is usually where the story is supposed to become dramatic. A sudden windfall, a lucky break, a stock that multiplies overnight. But that's not how it happens for almost anyone who actually gets free. What happens instead is smaller, quieter. You open a spreadsheet for the first time and actually look, not glance, look, at where your money goes. You find $310 a month in subscriptions and takeout you don't remember choosing. You redirect it, not into another purchase, into an index fund tracking the market as a whole, patient, unglamorous, boring. You do it again the next month, and the next. Nothing about your life looks different from the outside, but the machine has started. Year 1, $3,720 saved. It feels like nothing. Year 5, $34,000. It feels like something, finally. Year 12, with consistent contributions and market averages, the number crosses $180,000. Somewhere in there, something shifts that has nothing to do with the number itself. You stop checking prices out of anxiety and start checking them out of curiosity. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" about small things, and start asking a bigger question instead. What is this purchase costing me in future freedom? This is the moment most people never reach. Not because the math is difficult, because the patience is. You do not become a millionaire and buy a mansion. You become a millionaire and, one Tuesday, you realize you could leave a job that was slowly costing you your life, and you wouldn't panic. That is what the number was always for. Not the flex, not the headline, the option. Money at this level stops being about things. It becomes about time you no longer have to sell. And that is the part almost no one tells you when they talk about becoming a millionaire. It was never about the 7 figures. It was about the moment you stop needing permission to live your own life. Most people never become millionaires for the same 3 quiet reasons, repeated across a lifetime. They wait for certainty before they start. They let small debts compound louder than their investments. And they mistake a bigger paycheck for actual wealth. None of this requires luck. None of it requires a windfall. It requires something far harder to sell you on. Decades of unglamorous discipline, invisible to everyone except the person living it. You are not behind because the system is impossible. You are behind because no one ever showed you the math. And by the time most people see it, they've already spent 10 years pretending they had more time than they did. You still have today. The only question that has ever mattered is whether you'll let it disappear the way all the others did, or whether this is the one you finally use.